President Muhammadu Buhari strongly condemns the destruction of assets of the police and the home of the President General of the Ohanese Indigbo, Professor George Obiozor, in Imo State. The President strongly condemns the violence in the sub-region and urges everyone to maintain peace. He adds that law and order in the entire southeast is under review, as security agencies are working to ensure that normalcy is restored at the earliest possible time. The President extends sympathies to the police over the loss of men and materials, as well as to Professor Obiozor, who he urges to maintain his commitment to the peace and oneness of the Federation despite these odds. Meanwhile, residents of Owerri have described as worrisome the reviewed attacks on police facilities in Imo State, as well as the razing of the home of the President General Ohanese Indigbo, Professor George Obiozor. Loretta Arinze-Egwim reports.
Imo State has in the past months witnessed some level of peace resulting in the return of normalcy after the security breaches of last year. The Saturday morning attacks on Owerri West Divisional Police Headquarters Omogoma and the home of President General Ohanese Indigbo, Professor George Obiozor, therefore came as a surprise to many. According to the Police Public Relations Officer Imo State Command, Michael Abatam, the police station was attacked in the early hours of Saturday, March 19, 2022 by gunmen who threw explosive devices into the police station, damaging some parts of the building, including vehicles, motorcycles, and other office equipment. Noting that the first attempt 2 years ago was met with resistance from members of the community.
That's around 3, we started hearing gunshot, the type of sophisticated weapons that you hear, you will not believe it. I saw things myself. The vehicles were burnt and the house set ablaze.
People went there and saw that it was true that they attacked the police station. And unfortunately, killed 2 people.
The Obiozor's residence incident has also been condemned by many, including the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, who says the attacks are unwarranted and appealed to indigents of the state and politicians in particular to embrace peace.
We urge that the federal government should look into the security situation of the country and see how they can remedy it.
The Imo State Police Command has, however, pledged to fish out perpetrators of both attacks. In Owerri, Loretta Arinze-Egwim, NTA News.
Now let's talk food security. The 13th ECOWAS and the Sahel meeting on food security has ended with member countries indicating commitment to assist smallholder farmers to boost production. Musa Aliyu has details.
Food economy in West Africa and Sahel sub-region is projected to reach $480 billion in 2030. The expected growth was attributed to increase in the demand and supply of agricultural produce occasioned by population growth in the region. And this is why this meeting, attended by 15 countries in West Africa and the Sahel, agreed to intensify efforts towards boosting farmers' output. There is also a commitment to key into the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization programs in securing the development gains in the fight against hunger and poverty.
This is apt, timely, and strategic. This in accordance with the FOA's strategic framework for the next decade, which seeks to support the 2030 agenda through the transformation to more efficient, inclusive, resilient and sustainable agri-food systems.
There is also an appeal to West African countries to seize the opportunities to build resilient agri-food systems in the region and align with FAO strategic framework to address structural policy constraints.
We are currently exploring how we can best support the federal government in its call for action to further transform food systems in Nigeria.
We commend the government for taking full advantage of FAO's corporate initiatives, including the Hand in Hand Initiative, the Green Cities Initiative, and the Digital Village Initiative.
The resolution of the 13th meeting of the ECOWAS countries and the Sahel is expected to complement AU 2022 decision of food production and nutrition on the continent. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
In a bit of political matters, President Muhammad Buhari has been described as a purposeful leader following his prompt intervention that resolved internal party wranglings that threatened the successful conduct of the All Progressives Congress National Convention. Sulaiman Rigachukun reports that National Coordinator, Friends of President Buhari, Aminu Sani Jaji, said this while reacting to developments in the All Progressives Congress.
Reacting to the recent development preceding the scheduled convention of the All Progressives Congress next week, Aminu Sani Jaji said President Muhammad Buhari demonstrated fatherly role in resolving the issues among prominent party members. This, he noted, stabilized the nation's political space.
He waded into the crisis, he intervened as a father. You know what he did is a fatherly intervention. So that is why many people, they look at it that President maintained a neutral ground in addressing all the issues.
He applauded the president for his firm position on democratic tenets.
We all know that if an act contradicts the Constitution, then we have to go to what the Constitution says. So the Constitution defines that, okay, if you want to go for an election, you have to resign 30 days to an election.
National Coordinator Buhari for All, a former parliamentarian, also expressed confidence that the ruling All Progressives Congress will emerge stronger after the National Convention. Sulaiman Rigachukun, NTA News.
And the African Democratic Congress says it is working out a strategy through conversation with Nigerians to win the 2023 presidential election. National Chairman of the party, Ralph Okenwosu, disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
With the 2023 general elections getting closer by the day, the National Secretariat of the Action Democratic Congress has been receiving party leaders and members on consultation. This media engagement by the party is to reassure Nigerians that ADC will be out to participate fully in all elections.
We want to move Nigeria to become a superpower nation in 20 years. 20 years from 2023. Nigeria is going to be a superpower nation. That's where we're going.
Former presidential candidate of the Young Progressives Party in the 2019 election, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, now a member of the African Democratic Congress, officially announced his intention to again contest for the office of the president in 2023.
While I commend the president for signing the bill and the National Assembly for passing it, let us simply prepare for elections in 2023 in the hope that those elections will be more free and more fair than any we have had in the recent past.
For the People's Democratic Party, its national youth movement is appreciating the party's National Executive Committee for what it described as sensitive review of the price of nomination and expression of interest forms, with 50% reduction for youth of 25 to 30 years of age.
We want our party to please extend this gesture within this age bracket from 25 to possibly 40 years, because these are the practical youth who are practically engaged in political process.
Members of the movement enjoined the PDP to sustain what they described as its uncommon youth-loving stride. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
To get the best out of students in secondary schools, strict monitoring and discipline must be upheld to support other learning resources. Teachers and parents say these principles have distinguished schools like Lumen Christi International High School, Edo State, that won the Augustine Oyederan Prize for producing Best Aggregate Result in West African Senior School Certificate Examination 2021 in Nigeria from others. Joseph Otson has details.
It is among schools keeping the Nigerian flag flying higher in education. At the WAEC's 70th Annual Council meeting held in Abuja, Lumen Christi International High School in Edo State is handed the Augustine Oyederan Prize for producing Best Aggregate Results in WASI for School Candidates 2021 in Nigeria.
We give the children holistic formation, both academic, spiritual formation and moral formation, and the children get that holistic formation. And our own is different because we will try to ensure discipline.
The key to success is actually hard work and relying on God, prayer, consistency, Even our principal expects much more from all of us, so we'll try our best to keep up bringing more awards to the school.
With monitoring and discipline the watchword, the school has won same prize 5 times in the past: 2007, 2009, 2011, 2012, and 2016 respectively.
The teachers are well trained, well qualified, and very dedicated to their duties.
What distinguishes the school mostly in terms of morals.
Renowned for academic excellence, the Edo-based high school also has other laurels on its shelf, including winner of National Secondary School Quiz Competition 2012 and NNPC Science Competition for South-South Geopolitical Zone, won in 2007. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Kano State Government, in collaboration with security operatives, has discovered and reunited 3 abducted children with their parents. Yohana Suhasan Barao reports.
Taken away to Lagos, but somehow that was they were kept through the assistance of the DSS. They are now in Kano.
Chairman, Implementation Committee on Missing Persons in Kano State, Justice Wada Umar Ranu, handing over the returned abducted children to the Kano State government. Justice Rano said the recovery was in collaboration with various security operatives whose efforts assisted in tracing the whereabouts of the children in Lagos few weeks after their abduction by an unknown person in front of a hotel in Kano. Abdullahi Yahya is one of them who said he suffered untold ordeal during his captivity after he was lured by a promise of a white-collar job in Lagos. For this 12-year-old Ismail Sabu, whose parents are yet to show up, his prayer is to reunite with his family. The Secretary to Kano State Government, Alhaji Usman Alhaji, who handed over the children, commended the members of the committee and urged parents to live up to their obligations towards their families.
Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, his family, rooted to ensuring that all children kidnapped from Kano traced returned back united with their parents.
He urged on all to contribute their quota, saying security is everybody's business. In Kano, Yohana Sahasan Barao, NTA News.
A pedestrian bridge at Ijesha end of the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in Lagos has been sealed by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. This follows a structural damage to the footbridge by an errant truck driver. Adeni Taiwo reports.
It is such a big risk daring to cross this highway. Ijesha bus stop in section 2 of the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway is noted for heavy vehicular movement at high speed, and for over 30 years, this footbridge has served to facilitate easy crossing for pedestrians. Against their wish, these pedestrians had to make a risky dash across the highway because the footbridge has been sealed.
You can see me that I took my time before crossing. I don't like crossing the road. But I saw this barricade that we shouldn't climb it, so it has been covered.
Ignorantly at night, somebody may pass thinking that it's secure, and before you know what's happening, it may fall down and cause more loss of lives.
Those fellas that used to chip granite, so it's coming away from my 2 sides with the full speed in the morning. So when the driver don't know that the bucket already pulled out, so when he nearly to the bridge, I shout, say, our bridge. So he hits the bridge with his feet, and the head of the trailer moved. So take on hijack, then I pay the bridge.
The impact of the collision damaged the center beam and some slabs on the footbridge, leaving a gaping hole that makes it unsafe for pedestrians. Speaking during an inspection visit to the bridge, the Director of Federal Highway Southwest, Adida Malakuti, describes the incident as a willful destruction of public infrastructure, which will not go unpunished.
This man is endangering the lives of many residents around here. Look at all our people crossing on the major road. This is what this thing will have prevented.
The bridge, it says, will remain closed, but not for long, as the federal government is concerned about the risk pedestrians face crossing the highway. Meanwhile, the errant truck driver has been arrested. In Lagos, Adini Itaiwo, NTA.
In other news, Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo today had a Thanksgiving service to celebrate his inauguration at St. Theresa's Catholic Church, Iswofia. Ndem Kalu reports.
Thanksgiving service was to appreciate God for the successful handover ceremony. Governor Soludo solicited prayers for those who will serve in his cabinet to serve with sincerity of purpose and place the interests of the state first. He promised to justify the confidence reposed in them by Anambra citizens.
We will not use it for celebration, we will not use it for that. We will use it to fix fundamental needs of the world.
The Catholic Bishop of Ekulobia Diocese, Most Reverend Peter Opaleke, speaking on the theme, Call to Conversion, said, God has entrusted the state to a good leader who will change the narratives of the state to greater heights.
The church has always recognized how easy to pray for all to set in authority.
From Iswofia, Ndem Kalu, NTA News.
For some sporting stories, let's join Cynthia Ogun.